Right now, if you get a fever, you take a pill and go back to bed. If you break a bone, you go to a hospital and someone sets it in a cast. You don't even think about it. But for 99% of human history, there were no pills, no hospitals, no doctors, no antibiotics, just you, your body, and whatever your tribe knew. So what actually happened when an ancient human got sick? The answer isn't what you think. It's not a story of people dying helplessly in caves. It's a story of splints, plant medicine, surgery, and something we never expect from cavemen: care. Let's start with a number that should stop you cold. Before modern medicine, roughly half of all children died before adulthood. Infection, parasites, childbirth, injury, sickness wasn't rare. It was the single biggest force shaping every human life. And yet, our species survived, spread across every continent, and thrived. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens because somewhere along the way, humans figured out how to fight back. In 1957, archaeologists excavating Shanidar cave in northern Iraq found a Neanderthal skeleton that changed how we think about prehistoric life forever. This man, now called Shanidar I, was missing an arm, was blind in one eye, and had crippling injuries to his leg. And yet the bones showed something remarkable. Those injuries had healed years before he died. Someone fed him, someone protected him, someone kept him alive long after he could no longer hunt or gather for himself. A disabled Neanderthal survived into middle age 40,000 years ago because his group chose to care for him. And it gets stranger. In the same cave system, researchers found Neanderthal burials with unusually high concentrations of pollen from yarrow, chamomile, and other plants still used in herbal medicine today. For decades, scientists argued about what this meant. Then in 2012, a study analyzing hardened dental plaque from Neanderthal teeth at Shanidar and a cave in Spain found microscopic traces of chamomile and yarrow, plants with almost no nutritional value but strong medicinal properties. They weren't eating these plants for dinner, they were eating them because they were sick. So let's reconstruct what actually happened when someone in an ancient camp fell ill. First, isolation wasn't really a concept the way we think of it, but proximity mattered. The sick person stayed near the fire, kept warm, kept close to camp instead of joining the hunt. Someone, often an older woman with decades of accumulated knowledge, would already know which plants to find. Willow bark for pain and fever. It contains the same compound later purified into aspirin. Honey, packed directly onto wounds. Its low moisture and natural acidity kill bacteria on contact, a fact modern medicine rediscovered and now uses in hospital-grade wound dressings for a broken bone. Evidence goes back even further than you'd expect. Bone fractures found in prehistoric skeletons frequently show proper alignment, meaning someone reset the bone and immobilized it before it healed crooked. That takes anatomical understanding. That takes someone holding a screaming, panicking person still while another person pulls a bone back into place with nothing for the pain. This wasn't guesswork. It was knowledge passed down, tested, refined, and remembered across generations who never wrote a single word down. Then there's the part that sounds almost unbelievable. Surgery, trepanation, drilling or scraping a hole into the skull is one of the oldest surgical procedures ever discovered. Archaeologists have found over 1,000 trepaned skulls across Europe, Africa, and South America, some dating back over 7,000 years. And here's the detail that proves this wasn't ritual mutilation. The bone around many of these holes shows clear signs of healing, new bone growth around the edges. That means the patient survived the surgery. In some excavation sites, survival rates for trepanation appear higher than battlefield amputation survival rates in the American Civil War, thousands of years later. Stone Age surgeons with no anesthesia and no understanding of germs were pulling off procedures that worked. Nobody fully agrees on why they did it. Some skulls show trauma nearby, suggesting the surgery relieved pressure from head injuries. Others show no trauma at all, suggesting it treated seizures, severe headaches, or conditions we'd now call psychiatric, using the only tool they had, a belief that releasing something trapped inside the skull could release the suffering too. Ötzi, the Iceman, gives us maybe the most personal window into all of this. His 5,300-year-old mummified body, found frozen in the Alps in 1991, was carrying dried mushrooms with natural antibiotic and anti-parasitic properties, medicine, in his travel kit. His skin was marked with over 60 tattoos, made not for decoration, but clustered precisely on joints affected by arthritis, in almost the exact location still used in acupuncture today. A man walking through the mountains 5,000 years ago was already self-medicating with a treatment plan. Of course, not everything worked. For every effective remedy, there were rituals rooted in fear rather than biology, chants, charms, appeals to spirits believed to cause illness. But even this reveals something important. Ancient humans never treated sickness as random or meaningless. They searched for a cause. They tried, failed, adjusted, and tried again. That process, repeated over hundreds of generations, is the same process behind every hospital on Earth today. And healing wasn't just physical, it was social. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer groups, like the Juhansi of the Kalahari, have documented healing dances that could last all night. The entire camp singing, drumming, and dancing around the sick person until dawn. Healers entered trance states believed to draw sickness out of the body with their hands. Whether or not you believe in the spiritual side, the physical effect was real. The sick person was surrounded all night by nearly everyone they knew, chanting that they mattered enough to stay awake for. Try to picture it. You're burning with fever in a shelter lit by firelight. You're not alone in a quiet hospital room, hooked to a machine. You are surrounded by the entire camp, your whole world, refusing to let you face this by yourself. An elder presses crushed willow bark into your palm. Someone else holds your hand through the worst of it. Outside, the fire never goes out, because neither does the watching. This is the part modern medicine quietly lost along the way. We perfected the science. Incredible, life-saving science, but we often traded away the community. You can now survive an illness that would have killed you in an hour surrounded by strangers, in a system, alone with a diagnosis on a screen. Ancient humans had almost none of our tools. No imaging, no antibiotics, no anesthesia, but they never treated the sick as disposable. A one-armed, one-eyed Neanderthal was kept alive for years by people who had every practical reason to leave him behind and didn't. Over thousands of years, this knowledge, willow bark, honey on wounds, resetting bones, releasing pressure from the skull, slowly turned into something bigger. Healers became specialists. Specialists became physicians. Physicians built hospitals. And eventually, someone in a lab isolated the exact compound in willow bark and put it in a bottle you can buy for $2. Every pill in your medicine cabinet is the end of a chain that started with someone tens of thousands of years ago, kneeling beside a sick person in the dark and refusing to do nothing. So the next time you're sick and you swallow a pill without thinking twice, remember what that pill actually is. It's not just chemistry. It's the oldest instinct we have. The one that kept a blind, one-armed man alive for years in a cave. The one that had someone drill into a living human skull and watch the bone heal around it. The one that never once in 300,000 years let sickness mean abandonment. We didn't just survive as a species because we were strong. We survived because when one of us fell, the rest of us stayed.
Hi, I'm Psyche. Subscribe.